What's up, everyone? This is Eric, the One-Armed Bandit Watkins, and I am the Smart Fighter at thefighter.store. And I'm going to tell you my origin story so you can see why I decided to make this service, thefighter.store, to help fighters make more money. So, as a young child and young adult, young adolescent, preteen, teenager, whatever, I was a troubled youth. I got into a little bit of trouble. I ran the streets, I drank, I smoked, I got into fights, I got arrested, I did all that, right? And then I found boxing and rugby, and I can honestly say boxing saved my life. And I hope it does that for you. And that's one of the reasons why I train people and why I started the Smart Fighter, to help out other fighters make more money. At first, when I was fighting as an amateur fighter, of course, you're getting paid free. I remember I got $50 once I thought I was balling. Then I got $170, which I'm going to tell you about that fight. And then I got $650 for my first professional fight. You know, when I was a kid, even when I was young, dumb, getting in trouble, I always knew I was great. I always knew I was a genius. I always knew I was a badass, you know? Like, I remember when Napster got took down, and I thought to myself, like, why doesn't somebody just make a digital store where they sell the song for 99 cents? And then later on, Apple did that. And obviously, it's not like my original idea because Apple did it, even though I thought about it before Apple did it. But since then, that sort of solidified in my brain that I know what I'm talking about. So I always knew that about myself growing up, you know, and I always wanted, of course, I'm an American kid, you know, I want the fast car, the hot girl, and the big house, and the stack of money, you know what I mean? The boat too, add a helicopter on top of that, I'm getting it all. So I started to box, and you know, of course I see Floyd Mayweather flaunting all of his money and hot girls, and I'm like, I want to be like Floyd, yeah boy. And then boom, I have a kid. So I have to be the man of the house, I have to support the family, do the thing, work the Red Lobster job, right? I used to hate that job. I was the guy that cut up lobsters and shrimp and peeled the shrimp and made shrimp scampi, literally arranging 3 shrimp one way, 4 shrimp the other way. Like, that was my brainless job, right? Like, I hated that. Like, the smell of shrimp and lobsters would used to like sink into my hands and stuff. Then like smell it after work, and you just smell like fish. And then like, you know, like when you run or work out and then you like smell like whatever you ate or whatever, I would literally sweat lobster juice. It was the most disgusting thing ever. I hated that job. I hated the way they treated us. I hated everything about that job. So I knew in my heart, in my brain, that I wasn't a manual, low earning wage laborer. You know, I just knew that, and I knew I had to get the hell out of there and to do something with my life. So at the time, I was a USA amateur boxing at the time, and to be completely honest, you know, it wasn't really going that good for me, you know, life, finances, my relationship with my son's mother, you know, boxing. I remember going down to a USA regional boxing tournament, and I was beating the guy up in the first round, and then boom, the guy steps back, makes me sit on something, and boom, he knocks me out for like a minute to 2. I'm not even exaggerating, and it was quite embarrassing. I don't even know why I told you guys that, but that's what happened, you know. So I'm just back working this shitty Red Lobster job. And then boom, one day, get a call from my trainer, Mac. Hey, Steve Simons needs a last-second replacement down in Huntington. Can you do it? Maybe we'll pay you, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I load up my child, who's like 8 months at the time, you know, my baby mom, you know, in the car, and we drive 3.5 hours down from Morgantown to Huntington, West Virginia, to take a last-second replacement fight. The guy who I'm fighting is like a highly regarded amateur in our area. You know, I met him at boxing tournaments before. Nice guy, you know, ain't got nothing bad to say about him, but he was skilled. He was more skilled than me, you know, so I'm nervous, you know. At the fight, people are like, oh, you're fighting him? You know, they're hitting me with that shit. And, you know, I'm like, oh, man, really? And then, you know, I guess his uncle fought Roy Jones. I don't know if it's true or not, but, you know. So So they probably started him off boxing like 10, 11, you know? Hell, that might be late. Probably started earlier than that. So needless to say, this guy had more ring experience than me, right? Probably a better boxer than me. So my trainer told me to link up with these guys from this one gym, and I go down there and talk to the guys from the one gym, and they're like, nah, we're good. You know, like, we don't feel like babysitting you. So boom, I have to find me another trainer all on my own. It's just like me, my baby mom, and my kid. We come out like 5 minutes late, whatever. We ice the guy. They can't start a fight without us. So he runs across the ring at me, literally. Like, he almost meets me in my corner. And then boom, we're swinging and wallowing away. And you know, I'm landing, he's landing. It's a 3-round, 1 minute semi-pro fight. So he's landing his, I'm landing mine. I feel like I'm getting the better of him first round. Ding! Go back to the corner, right? My trainer, who never met again, right? He just said, old black guy, gray hair, right? He said one thing. He kept the instructions very simple, right? There's no way I couldn't have caught on to this instruction. He said, throw the right hand. Let the right hand bang. Just bang them out with the right hand. You know what I mean? And for me, you know, like a dumb boxer at the time, like, that's a quite simple instructions, sir. So I just went out there and I did exactly as he said. I just bang, bang, bang. You know, I got him spitting out his mouthpiece on Body Shop. And you know when you're just banging on somebody and you can feel like their energy going down and you can just like feel like you're absorbing it and the crowd's going crazy and you're just boom. You know what I mean? And that's, ooh, yes. I need to fight again. But that's the feeling I was getting, okay? I was just beating this guy's ass and I was winning. And then ding, you know, second round's over. Do it again the third round. Ding, I win the fight. I get my hand raised. I walk around, you know, I'm on cloud 9. I got my girlfriend, my kid there, you know what I mean? I'm a badass, you know, by the way. We were those people that have the baby in the fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, we were them. So boom, I win the fight. So I get 170 from that fight. We have to stay at a friend's house in Charleston, drive back to Morgantown the next day. So there's a problem with that fight, and you want to know what it is? So since I'm a USA sanctioned amateur boxer, somebody told the USA Commission on me so that I fought in an unsanctioned bout, which was 100% true, and we didn't really even care. So they took my amateur book. So now I could only fight professional, tough man, or semi-pro. So since the promoter, you know, since I lost my USA boxing book on his show, he's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna give you fights. He's excited. I'm sure we can develop him, sell some tickets, whatever, right? So I just start fighting on his shows. And so in that time, that was my semi-pro period where I was just trying to get good enough, build up enough wins, build up the confidence, get the stamp of approval from my camp to go pro. I win pretty much all my semi-pro fights. I even won a kickboxing match in there, right? So I win all my semi-pro fights and I go pro, right? I'm getting $100 for those semi-pro fights plus my ticket sale commission. First pro fight, you know, and let me add, we worked all summer on not throwing that wild right hook that the Cincinnati trainers were telling me to throw, right? Because I would throw it wild, long, straight elbow, straight arm, and so we worked all summer on not throwing that amateur punch, because that's what it is, right? Me and Jim. Boom, we're at the weigh-ins. You know, you're sizing your guy up, you know what I mean? You know when you see him, you're like checking out his body, you're seeing his demeanor, you're seeing his stance, seeing if he walks with his chest out, his walk. You're just staring him down, you know, like you're catching his vibe. And I caught my pro debut's vibe. You know, he's a little older, he had a couple rolls on him. I was like, ooh, this is pound cake. I'm about to hurt this guy, you know what I mean? In front of my home crowd, I'm like, I sensed a fish in the water right then, and I knew it. I was like, I'm gonna destroy this guy, you know what I mean? I'm licking my lips, I'm gonna kill this guy, you know what I mean? From my home crowd, my pro debut. So boom, come out, pro debut. I'm hitting them with some straight punches, boom, 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 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 3-4, 3-4, right? I have him hurt in the first round and breathing. And he's going backwards, and going backwards, and going backwards. He's going backwards. He's hurt in the first round. So I throw exactly what we trained not to do in throw. And I throw a wild, flat arm right hook. Boom! Snap! It wrapped around his elbow and went crack! And ah! I swear, I felt it. There was people in the crowd that heard it and knew it was broke. The other guy knew I hurt something. Like, the ref heard it, but he didn't stop the fight. like people there knew it was something was off. And I stumbled off. And like when you're in those split-second times and like time slows down. When you're in those life-threatening situations and like time slows down and you get like a year's worth of clarity all within like a millisecond. And so this was my first slowdown of the night. And this is what I told myself in a millisecond. I was like, shit, my arm's broke. There's no possible way I can fight. Like, I have to quit this fight. Like, this is a pro fight. Like my arm's broke. The fight's over. Like, I can't fight. I got a broken arm. I knew it was broke. Like, whenever you break something and you know it's broke, like, I just knew it was broke. And so it hurt like it was broke. It sounded like it was broke. It was broke. So boom, I stumbled back to the corner, right? I stumbled back to the corner after the round. And Mac, my trainer, I'm like, it's broke. He just starts ripping the tape off my gloves because that's what you're supposed to do when your fighter's hurt, like stop the fight. So boom, he's ripping the tape off my gloves. And then within another split second, time slowed down for me. And within that millisecond, I thought to this, and I swear I thought to this on everything. I thought, if I quit this fight because of a broken arm, that makes me a quitter, which is completely irrational. It means my arm's broke, but I thought that makes me a quitter, and there's no way in hell am I quitting this fight in front of my mom, my brother, my friends, my camp, my city, all the damn beautiful girls in here. I am not quitting this fight. And then, whoop, all back together. I tell Mac, after my little time slowdown, I'm like, I'll kick his ass with one arm. And he's like, really? He gets all pumped up. Steve's like, this guy's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'll kick his ass with one arm. I swear I said that. And then so he's like, okay. He puts a piece of tape on my glove from where he ripped it all off. I'm like, and so Mac and Chad and Jim, they're all throwing combos at me. 5 jabs, 2 hooks, 3 jabs, jab, jab, hook, hook, jab, jab, uppercut, hook, what I mean? They're throwing stuff at me. Mac tells me to try to throw my right hand, which I tried to do once, but it didn't work, right? My right arm radius was broke. My hand was rotated like this, right? So I had to rest my hand on top of my head, like open up the glove, put it on top of my head, just so it wouldn't rotate, right? So I go out next round, right? I didn't backstep and pedal away from this guy and just coast out the fight. Let me note that I broke my arm in round 1 of 4 rounds for a 4-round professional debut, right? I went out there in round 2 and I chased him around the ring with one arm, right? If you don't believe me, I got the tape, right? I go out there and I'm just jamming him with jabs, right? I'm making him go backwards, with one arm. I'm beating him up with one arm. I beat him with one arm, right? That fight, so, round after round, for 3 more rounds, I beat him with one arm, right? And it was the hardest, most excruciating, most painful thing I've ever done in life. If that's how a woman's birth feels, I'm glad I'm a male. So that was a hard thing to do. So I go out there, I beat the guy up with one arm, right? After the fight, it's clear I win, right? It's one of those wins that you don't need the judges to tell you you won. So I walk around the ring, I do my ring walk with my one arm in the air, with my good arm in the air, right? And I'm telling you what, the way the crowd was screaming, it was surreal. I've never felt something like that, the adrenaline I got from that. if you know anything about college football and about West Virginia University, we go a little hard here. So everyone at the fight pretty much is safe to say they were a WVU fan, pretty much, and they were ape shit drunk. They were screaming, yelling, fussing, causing a ruckus. Like, it was intense. Like, the energy they pushed towards me in the ring, like, kept me alive, maybe helped me fight through a broken arm, but it was wild. So, boom, after the fight, I go up to the locker room, and one of my training partners from the MMA gym, he says something cool and slick. He's like, yo, man, you want to fight with one arm. You stole a fight with one arm. You're the one-arm bandit. I was like, I love that name, man. I did, like, and so from there, I'm like, that name will stick forever. So boom, my mommy drives me to the hospital, you know, no girlfriend. I go into the hospital with my mommy with a boxing glove on. I shit you not, right? Because they didn't want to take, the paramedics didn't want to take the boxing glove off. So I go to the hospital, boxing glove on, get the x-rays, broken right radius, right? I have to get a surgery. So, quick side note about my surgeon, I guess he was like a beaten on grunt. He was a badass himself, right? He had a heart attack 30 to 40 minutes away from the hospital. He drove himself, right? And then when I asked him how did he do it, he said it was either drive myself or die. I said, good point. You know, and he was telling me stuff, and I think he was a bit serious and half joking. But he's like, you break it again, I'm gonna have to cut your arm off. Like, we can't do this same surgery twice. So it's like, don't break it, you know. If I would have listened to him or listened to any other doctor, I probably wouldn't have fought in the first place. And I probably would have never fought again if I would have really listened. But, you know, I'm a hard head. So, boom, I have a surgery. So the promoter's insurance covers most of the surgery, but it's like a $24,000 surgery. And all I know is I got like a bill for like $6,000 for the remainder that the promoter's insurance didn't cover. So here I am. For my fight, I got contracted $400 for my tickets helping me. So now I'm fighting around West Virginia for my first amateur fight, or my first professional fights after that pro debut. And I'm making about anywhere from $300 to $400, right? Anywhere from Morgantown to Glenville to Charleston, Power Park, right? Thinking to myself, like, there has to be a better way to sell tickets, right? Like, running around while I'm hungry, thirsty, nervous, like, I appreciate the support of everyone calling me the week of my fight. You know, I appreciate you wanting to get the tickets off me instead of getting the ticket off the promoter or at the door. But I had to think, like, there has to be a better way to sell these tickets. So I used my brain damaged, punch-drunk boxer's brain to think up something. So I thought of it, and I just went on GoDaddy. I bought EricWatkinsBoxing.com and like One Arm Bandit, OneBoxing.com, and I put up a simple GoDaddy domain website, right? I put up a PayPal link on it, right? So now when people want to get their fight tickets off me, I would just send them a text message, EricWatkinsBoxing.com. And you know what the websites did? They sold. Ding, ding, ding. I would wake up in the morning, there would be a bunch of PayPal money in my account, right? And that makes you feel good when you sleep and wake up and make money. You know, I feel like a genius. You know, I'm sleeping and waking up with more money in my account because people are buying these tickets off me because I made a website. So at first I was just only selling tickets on my website. And then once I got a little smarter, got a little money, you know, invested a little bit, boom! You see this ugly shirt? This ugly guy on it, right? I mean, I made thousands of dollars off these shirts, and that's real talk. So, and I would just go out and get the shirt made for me and then do it, right? So, in college, I started a designated driver business. And as I tell you about Morgantown and how wild Morgantown can be, you know, we are a drinking town with a football problem. That's not my quote either, right? That's everyone else's quote. So long story short, we had a drunk driving problem here long before Uber and Lyft were ever thought of, right? You couldn't get a taxi cab, so everyone would drive drunk, yada yada. People died, cops got killed, like it was a mess for a while.
So I created a designated driver business because I would have used the service. And the designated driver business comes and two people come, one person hops out of their car and drives you in your car. So now you can get as drunk as you want and stay with your car the entire time, not get a DUI, not wreck yourself, not end up in jail, not die, And so at first when I turned the business over and opened up, a couple people came. Then next thing you know, a lot of people came, like a whole bunch of people came. And it was making good money in bank, and times changed, Uber came, my inability to adapt and change with it, whatever, it happened. So, but that gave me the confidence and the epiphany, the epiphany with the designated driver business that I thought if there was a designated driver business in town, I would use it. I would have been their #1 customer when I was drinking, you know what I mean? Like, I can drink and guaranteed I won't wreck my car, go to jail, sign me up, so I would have used this company if I could have. So I thought, why not, if I would use it, how many other people would use it? And it turns out a lot of other people used it. And so with this fighter store, I have the same epiphany right now. I wish somebody would have made this service for me when I was a fighter, and then I would have used it. You know what I mean? Best believe if you're like, hey, we'll sell your tickets and help you sell merchandise that you don't even have to invest in, no brainer. I would have definitely used the service. So throughout this whole fight life, it's literally transformed my life. I went from just being a delinquent, just drinking, being a barstool pigeon, doing all the dumb stuff everyone else does, just living for the moment, to a business owner, to a college graduate, to a professional boxer with 24 pro fights. Like, I fought Roy Jones because I stuck to my guns, you know what I mean? I didn't fold over when people told me that it's time to quit. When, oh, you shouldn't do that business, Eric. Oh, you shouldn't box. Oh, you should shut up and mind your own business, right? So that's what boxing has done for me. It's transformed my life. Since I fought Roy Jones, since I opened up my designated driver business, since I brawled with Shawnee Monahan in Madison Square Garden, I have the confidence to do anything in life. And I truly believe nothing is impossible. And if you say something's impossible, that's just you admitting that you don't want to do the hard work to reach your goal. Now I'm a fight promoter, right? I do videography, a couple other things on the internet, but I'm a fight promoter. And I had a co-promotion show with Steve Simons, the promoter I'm talking about in this. And now I was gonna have my own first solo promotion, and then guess what came? The coronavirus, boom, that said that every boxer in the world doesn't get to fight for X amount of days, right? Pretty much that's what it says. We don't know when it's gonna be done. Every MMA, every sporting event is scrapped, right? The game has completely changed. Will people even wanna come out to fights anymore because there's gonna be more than 5 people in the venue, right? So, this is my job. I'm gonna have my fight, and I'm gonna make sure my fight sells out. So using these products and principles, I'm gonna make sure my fighters sell out the fight for me, and I'm gonna make sure they get as much money as they can for selling out the fight, and they get as much money as possible from merchandise and other sponsorships they can recoup along the way to satisfy their money urge. Because, let's be honest, like, I don't think you should risk breaking your arm and only get $650. I don't think you should risk getting your brain fried and you walk away with $400 in a concussion. I think fighters deserve to make more money, and so I'm giving fighters a way to make more money.
So what my offer is for you is a risk-free merchandise and ticket sales store for you, the fighter. Risk-free. Whenever a customer buys it, you send one of your friends or fans or family to your portion of my website. Whenever a customer buys your shirt, you get the profit from it, right? And then for $5, I'm gonna juice up your store, and you're gonna get everything you see on the screen right here, and you're gonna get a custom designed shirt. For $10, I'm gonna give you a custom design shirt. I'm gonna beef up your store. You're gonna see everything you see on the screen right here, what you're gonna get. Now for $50, you're gonna get the Real Smart Fighter store, okay? I'm gonna put a Venmo and Cash App link on your page, so if a customer wants to buy a ticket directly from you and send money directly to you, your link's up there. So they can just click on that and send money directly to you, right? You're gonna get the full suite. You're gonna get phone cases, you're gonna get leggings, so your girl can look all nice with her booty, with your name across their butt. You know what I mean? You're gonna get tank tops, lady shirts, and you're gonna get a custom design that looks really good. So this is the Smart Fighter store. This is the fighter.store. So I made this for fighters, you know, and this is only for smart fighters. This is no get rich quick BS, right? This website is only good as you can fight or as good as you can sell, okay? Like, I'm not gonna sell these shirts for you. You're gonna have to sell them. And it's as easy as sending a text message to your friend to the fighter store /Joe Blow Boxing. Boom! You send them that, they can buy your tickets if you have them up there, they can buy your shirt, they can buy your leggings, they can even buy a phone case, and then you get the profit when they buy that product. It's that simple. This is the Fighter store, and this is only for smart fighters. So this is only for smart fighters that are actually gonna sell. So if you like it, sign up and click the link below.